like to be back on the road with this team after such a long time without any test matches?
Yeah, pretty awesome. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, 2019 San Diego was the last time we played an official test. So we're just, we're just looking at how long that's been, and it seems an absolute age. And it's just so wonderful to be back here with all the girls and back on the road, as you say, back into routine. Have a real sense of purpose. So it's all very well training and having camps, etc. But nothing like actually having a test to look forward to. And I think it's it's certainly risen the levels of excitement this week, knowing that we've got England on Sunday.
And what did you get out of the weekend with those matches against England and England under 20s and a Welsh team? I think it was.
Yeah, we had a really good hit out. We had 34 players over here, so it was a really good chance to give them all a bit of game time. We played two 60-minute games, one, as you say, one against England under 20s and one against Wales at London Irish grounds, great facility. So we sort of prepared really well, had a camp previously in Tauranga before we left, and then got through here on two groups to London or to Surrey and trained there, and then we prepared well for the games last week, and certainly got a lot of our, I suppose, systems practiced, and certainly gave a lot of our players really good opportunity to push their claims for test selection this week.
And what's it like with the situation where you're on tour now? Because it's obviously probably feels a bit normal again to be back on tour, but are there certain protocols, and is there quite a lot more time in hotel rooms than there would have been previously, of course?
Yeah, it's different. We've got really strict protocols that we're adhering to. A really closed bubble, wearing masks, certainly making sure that we're doing lateral flow tests, I think, every 2, 3, 4 days. So that's sort of a new experience, not a wonderful experience we're having, but we've got to do that, and certainly not being able to mix with the public is it's challenging. It's seeing people from a distance. So all of that is all a bit different, but it's just a new different, and we haven't. Thankfully, we haven't got any situations of COVID in our group, but we're taking all precautions just to ensure that we don't get derailed and ensure that we do everything correct. But we can still do a few things, get out in little bubbles, and like we went to Wembley, we popped into Stonehenge on the way through to Exeter. So we're able to see a little bit of the sights and see a few things, and just not able to mix with the locals quite as much as we'd like.
Yeah, and I guess just finally from me, you mentioned a bit earlier that you obviously haven't played in 2 years. I think England have obviously played quite a lot of tests in that time, and on a very good run of form. Is this in many ways like a perfect test for you to see where you're at, given that they've been so successful for the last few years?
Yes, I mean, England are a quality side. They do get the opportunity to play in the Six Nations, a very tough competition, and have done so even sort of under COVID conditions. And obviously we go on and play France once we played England. So we've got a really tough tour ahead of us. And it's going to be a real tough battle for us this weekend. We've got a lot of debutants in our group, and it's going to be a real battle. We admire what the English do, respect what they do, but we believe that we'll be able to put a good team out there and certainly take the English Roses, the Red Roses on in a really good battle.
Cool, thank you.
Oh, hi John, it's Jamie Wall here from RNZ. How difficult is it to pick a team for a game like this, given that you haven't played for 2 years and that the FPC was a lot more disrupted than you would have thought?
Yeah, it's been tough, Jamie. We're thankful again, I suppose, that we got an FPC, and admittedly, a number of the teams up north couldn't train and playing quite as many games as we'd hoped. Coupled that with injuries and so forth, it has been a little problematic. But I think we're very fortunate that we're able to do that. We're able to have a camp, like I said, in Tauranga and gets a lot of our systems and processes in place. So I think really it's a case of just it's what it is what it is, and I think we're all back home. I know you're all facing that as well, and it's frustrating and challenging. The English have been under difficult conditions at times as well. They've only just started their comp for the year, their local club comp, so they've had some challenges, and it's just going to be take a bit of time, and I think it's also an opportunity. I think rather than just a challenge, it's an opportunity for some of our younger girls to come through and put their hand up and say, hey, I'm here to stay, and I want to be a Black Fern for a long time.
And the players who were involved in the Olympic Sevens campaign, a lot of them I couldn't really see much evidence of them playing any real 15s at all this year. How have they been tracking? How have they been fitting back into 15s? Has it been smooth or has it been a bit of a challenge?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think we're very fortunate that we've got absolutely high-performing elite athletes that have come out of the Sevens program into ours. They're an essentialised program. They're incredible ambassadors for the game, both Sevens and also 15s. If you take Portia and Kelly Brazier, for example, Portia Wood and Kelly Brazier, both have played a lot of tests in 15s rugby, not recently, but have obviously had a long background in 15s. And I think certainly there'll be a little bit of adjustment for them, but because of their work rate, their mindset, their diligence, and the type of people that they are, they will do their homework to be as best as they can be. And you can almost feel the level of professionalism just go up another notch when you've got people of that calibre in your mix, and it really does help the whole environment. And we're grateful that they've made themselves available to play for the Black Ferns 15s.
Nice one. And just last one from me. Just looking at the schedule of this tour and the circumstances around it, this is a really big ask. You're playing sort of two other best teams in the world over the course of 4 weeks with very little build-up. Is that the way it feels for you guys?
Yeah.
In terms of the challenge, a challenge that the team faces.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to be the best, you've got to play the best, and I think playing England and France, we know they're the best. They're the England number one. Played a lot of rugby recently, more so than us, and it is a massive challenge. But again, there's a bigger picture in 12 months' time that we're aiming for as well. Yes, we want to win every test. Yes, we want to do the best we can, but we need Test match rugby at the highest level to prepare our players to win another World Cup. And this is just an opportunity for us to get some really tough rugby against the teams that we don't play very often. So I think it's something that it's an opportunity rather than an absolute challenge. So we're going to go out there on Sunday and embrace that challenge and take the opportunity that presents itself to us.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it.
Is that us, team? Cool.
I've got one.
Oh.
If that's all right.
Yeah, no, go for it, Joe.
Hey, sorry if this has been covered off in Jamie's question. I'm writing a news bulletin at the same time as listening to the Zoom. I was just wondering, obviously you haven't had tests in a long time, defending a World Cup title in about a year's time. How do you balance the desire to obviously cram as much as you possibly can into this Northern Tour in terms of player combination development, exposing fresh faces to the sport, etc., as well as, balancing that against taking time, not trying to rush things, not trying to cram too much in, and I guess be carried away by the fact you only have this sort of window at this moment due to the uncertainty. So how do you sort of balance all those conflicting emotions within yourself and the group?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Certainly not defending the World Cup. We have to go out with a mindset to win the World Cup, and every year it's every 4 years. That's the mindset we've got to take into it. We need to build our group of players. We need to build our depth across our team, and certainly our mission is to win every test that we play. But also our mission is to ensure that we grow our young people. We grow our people to be better people, better players. And get better outcomes. So it is an absolute balance. I think having a real mix of senior women with a wealth of experience with our younger group is massive, and we've seen the senior players in particular, take a real lead on that and mentor and guide our young women to both be better on and off the field. So if we can get that piece continue to be nailed, then I know as we roll into 2022, we'll be so much better as a team. Had 3 or 4 tests behind us. Roll into 2022, with the wealth of experience that we will gain from this trip, both on and off the field. I think we'll be well prepped for a great 2022. All things being equal, given the situations all of our countries are in.
John James here from Māori Television. Just got one question for you.
Kia ora, James.
Just touching on one of the earlier questions about the short lead-in time to this tour and the preparation. Now, how well is the team coming together with the 12 or so new players. There's ones coming back from the sevens, considering you need a few days of toting together, flying over two different groups and all of that. So how's the last week or so together in the UK, sort of doing to bring the team together?
Yeah, it's been challenging, James. I think, coming across in two groups, and we got some of our players that had been in lockdown and hadn't been able to train very much and coming at different times. But I think one thing that I've learned since I've been in the Black Ferns is the women gel together so quickly. They love being together, and they're like a big family, and they just they thrive off each other, and they're doing their homework. They're having time away from the game, and with the music and the laughter and the dancing and all that stuff that makes it such an enjoyable environment. And I think that it creates what I would say a real sense of belonging. And once we get that sense of belonging and a desire to do something special, then you start creating some special things. And and I've seen that happen in a really short time in this team. And I know it's just going to continue to flourish. Yes, we've got a big game this weekend, but I'm sure whether we win or lose it, we won't lose the togetherness and that sense of belonging that grows the team. We're going to have, I'm sure we'll have some debutants on Saturday, and man, they will just be so much better from having played in a test match against England. Following that game, they'll learn so much. So it's been great. They're growing really quickly and loving being here, and I think, will flourish, as we move on.
Last question. Any last questions?
Oh yeah, just one from me. Stonehenge, would you recommend? Out of 10?
Yeah, we were lucky with the weather, so that was good. We didn't get wet, but yeah, it was great. A real natural historic place, and we enjoyed it. It was a bit of time out off the bus, wander around, and good to see. When you can't do too much, when you got little breaks like that, you've got to take them. We managed to get to an Italian restaurant last night in a bubble, and that was just gold. It was just doing something different, getting away from the hotel. So you take the little wins along the way and enjoy them while you can.